Uh, there's a story in the Bible with Sarah and Abraham, and there was a famine in Canaan, which is modern day Israel and Lebanon. So while there was like no food in the north, they had to travel down to Egypt. So they come down to Egypt because that's where there was crops. And here is Sarah and Abraham, and they're traveling from the north, coming down south, right? So they're in the northeastern corner of Egypt. I mean, of Africa continent. Right before they got to the border, Abraham instructed his wife Sarah. He said, "Listen, you need to get into this chest, this crate in the back of our caravan." Because they had a whole crew of people. Abraham had a whole group of servants, people, entourage moving together. So they traveled from the north down to the south for food. Obvious reasons, right? Um, so he asked her, "Please, I need you to hide inside this trunk. Just in case we get busted, I need you to tell them that whoever asks you that you're my sister. Don't tell them you're my spouse because then they'll kill me." This is Abraham talking before his name was changed and before her name was changed too. Her name was Sarai, and then you also had Abram, not Abraham yet. So these two went down to Egypt because there was no food up north. They get there. She hides in the trunk. Customs officials at the border, Egyptians had looked at everything and they said, okay, everybody has to pay their dues, right? 10% if you're going to walk in. I know you're here to buy goods for you and your family, but you still have to pay duty, right? So they got to the trunk and the guards had asked, what's in the trunk? And they said, nothing. And everybody's so beautiful. And they took her. They took Sarah. And here's Abraham, the husband, freaking out, couldn't show it. And then they had asked, how are you two related and why is she in the trunk? And he basically said, well, we thought you might kill us when you saw how beautiful she was. And knowing that he busted them by telling them what their plan would have been, it stopped them from actually doing that. Would have been the order of the day, right? Kill him, take her. She could be part of the harem to the Pharaoh. Pharaoh is just a title. That's not the name of a king. It's the same thing as saying ruler. So that Pharaoh, anyway, so they confiscated this woman, Sarah, Sarai, because of her beauty and take her in front of Pharaoh. Meanwhile, he tells him, "Oh, this is my brother." Right? So they're like, "Oh my God, we're going to treat your brother, kinfolk, really good." So they loaded up Abraham with gold and all this kind of stuff from the top, because they wanted to be sweet to Abraham so they could get some booty from sister, supposedly. So they thought, not knowing that God had orchestrated let this happen this way, because that's how Abraham got all his riches originally, was through Egypt during a famine in Canaan. So he goes down there. He's going down to buy some food for the whole family. Instead, they see the wife and they're like, oh, they open the trunk, right? And here comes out this beautiful woman. And now she's in the king's palace, the Pharaoh. Pharaoh want to get down with her. And a funny thing happens. And you can find it in the book of Jasher, which is referred to in the book of Joshua, chapter 10, refers to the book of Jasher. Also, the Jude refers to the book of Jasher. I think it's verse 4. Anyway, okay, so here's what happens really quick in the book of Jasher. It says that night, Pharaoh went to try to reach out to Sarah in a sexual kind of way. And it says that the angel of the Lord fussied him, like struck down his arm. So every time he would like extend his arm to try to reach out for her, there was an angel that only Sarah could see. It would strike the Pharaoh down. So think of a king all dressed up with, ooh, look at this fair maiden, right? And then something strikes him down 3 times, right? And Sarah is watching this because she had prayed. Abraham had prayed. The whole camp was praying. They're like, Lord God, don't let defilement happen. No, we just came to get some food. Now look it, right? And then something else really weird happened, right? All the men, everyone that had lusted after Sarah, right? Every man could not, boop, boop, that night. So the very next day, the Pharaoh had stopped. uh, had asked Abraham, pulled him aside, and he had said, "What kind of witchcraft is it? Because all my people have sent a report saying that there was a problem with erectile dysfunctional around the entire country. And the only thing different is you guys. You guys are the difference that came through here. So who is she really?" And then that's when Abraham said, "This oh, because he was sporting her. That's what it was. The king had seen those two walking. This is after a few weeks, right, of them being in the country. And the king was watching the foreigners, and he saw that they weren't acting like sister and brother, but they act more like husband and wife. And then that's when the Pharaoh had said, "What is going on here with you and her? That ain't your right." And then that's when Abraham said, "This is my wife. I had to lie because I knew you people would kill me because of her beauty." Right? And then the Pharaoh said, "Yeah, this is after the erectile dysfunctional thing happened." And then the Pharaoh had said, he has to be blessed by them. And then Abraham did. Abraham blessed the Pharaoh because the Pharaoh recognized he was wrong when he had said, "This is not my sister, this is my wife." And that had you touched her, that God would have struck you down and killed you. So consider this grace that he didn't do this. But all this point, the reason I'm telling you this story, right? Sarah was 90 years old when all this shit happened. And I used to always wonder to God, I was like, that whole country went crazy for a 90-year-old woman. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I hope this helped somebody or that you found this interesting. Tune in next time.